So this किसमें? Yes, obviously. So these are some of the impacts. Question impact नहीं पूछा है. Question is bring out the relationship between shrinking Himalayan glaciers and what are the symptoms of the climate change in Indian subcontinent. That is, that you have to tell that why the Himalayan glaciers are shrinking and other climate changes in India. So bring out the relationship between shrinking of the glaciers and the symptoms of the climate change. So what are the symptoms of the climate change? अगर आपने इसमें से कुछ भी पॉइंट लिखा है except more flooding, more coastal submergence, water scarcity, to some extent the changes in the easterly jet stream, to some extent heat waves, क्रॉपिंग पैटर्न कहाँ चेंज हुआ है? हुआ नहीं है ना, उन्होंने पूछा है ब्रिंग आउट द रिलेशन. सो अदर देन दैट इफ यू राइट इंटरलिंकिंग ये सब तो आंसर में मार्क्स नहीं मिलेंगे. यू हैव टू टेल व्हाट आर व्हाई द ग्लेशियर्स आर चेंजिंग ड्यू टू विच सिम्टम्स ऑफ द क्लाइमेट चेंज. दैट इज द राइज इन द सी लेवल, ग्लेशियर्स आर श्रिंकिंग. Changes or in the flow of a river, that means the glaciers are changing. So I'll give you a model answer for this, so you can take down, because ये कब के पेपर का था, कब फोटो भेजा, ये आज ही के पेपर में है शायद. So yes, so we'll write all these things. So but I'm giving you answer to this question. You see what is the demand of the question? Demand of a question is symptoms of climate change and the impact on the glaciers. The question is not asking the impact of the glacier melting on India. We have just listed down the impact of the melting of the glacier. So they are asking you what are the symptoms of climate change. So इसमें thunderstorms आएगा? Yes. इसमें heat waves आएगा? Yes. Forest fires? Yes. So these are the symptoms of the climate change. Recurrence of El Nino like phenomena? Yes. So you can take down. In the recent years, due to more burning of the fossil fuels, and related global warming, फिर से चला गया, and the related global warming. The Himalayan glaciers are melting. At a faster rate. It should always be supported by data. Between the year 1970 to 2000, 9% of the ice volume was lost. 9% of the ice volume was lost. While between the year 2003 to 2009, 170 gigatons of water. 170 gigatons of water. Anybody carrying today's newspaper? 170 gigatons of water was lost. 170 gigatons of water was lost. 170 gigatons of water was lost. It is said that the melting of glaciers, the melting of glaciers from the third pole region. आज के पेपर में वो आर्टिकल में ये वर्ड इंपॉर्टेंट है, थर्ड पोल रीजन, third pole region will have major impact on economy, ecosystem and demography. मैं ये भी वर्ड यूज कर सकता था, economy, environment and population. We have used the better words, demography. The symptoms of the melting of glacier, ecosystem में सब कुछ आ गया. The systems of the melting of the glacier, the symptoms of the melting of the glacier due to climate change are already seen and they can be listed as below. This is the approach of the answer. You have to list the symptoms of the climate change. Can be listed or are as given below, can be listed as below. First, frequent floods in Brahmaputra, Kosi and Kashmir during the pre-monsoon season, and Kashmir during the pre-monsoon season. किसी ने लिखा है ऐसे में? Anybody who has attempted this question? What you have written? But have you approached the answer in this way? That is, what are the symptoms? You have written. Show me the answer after the class. क्या लिखा? So during the pre-monsoon season, which shows more melting of ice is taking place due to high heat. More melting of ice is taking place due to high heat. Second, the per unit electricity production in many Himalayan dams have dropped by 1 to 3%. 1 to 3%. ये नहीं 1 2 3 नहीं 1 2 3%. Remember one general rule, 1% decrease in the flow मतलब 3% decrease in the hydroelectric power production. If the water decreases by 1%, flow of water reduces by 1%, hydroelectric power production decreases by 3%. Flow कब होगा ज़्यादा? Flow होगा ज़्यादा only during the pre-monsoon. बट विंटर्स में फ्लो कम हो जाएगा उनका, तो ये ओवरऑल डिक्रीज हो जाएगा, पूरे साल का तो डिक्रीज होगा। इनिशियली फ्लो बढ़ेगा बट बाद में फ्लो कम हो जाएगा। इरोजन भी ज्यादा होगा। थर्ड, there is frequent fluctuations in the river regime or river flow. There is frequent fluctuation in the river regime. In the bracket, regime मतलब seasonal flow. Seasonal flow. Seasonal flow. River regime. Regime का मतलब है seasonal flow. Due to increased melting related with global warming. Due to increased melting related with global warming. Studies at Farakka Barrage. Studies at Farakka Barrage. कहाँ पे है फरक्का बराज? have shown that though in the short term velocity and the flow of river Ganga has increased. Though in the short term velocity and the flow of river Ganga has increased, and the flow of river Ganga has increased. There is also increase in erosion. There is also increase in erosion and siltation. Siltation is deposit of silt. Silt is the sediment that is brought by the river. Siltation in the low-lying coastal regions. This is our model answer. Obviously ये टेक्निकल थोड़ा ज़्यादा होगा, बट आप अपने खुद के वर्ड्स में भी ये पॉइंट्स लिखोगे तो इट विल बी मोर देन इनफ. द सिल्टेशन. सिल्टेशन अगर ज़्यादा होगा, फ्लडिंग ज़्यादा होगी. रिवर विल बिकम मोर ब्रेडेड. In the long run, these rivers may become seasonal. Thus increasing international water disputes. In already sensitive geopolitical region. क्या? क्यों? हिमालय का इंक्रीज एंड रिवर से क्या लेना देना है? स्नोफॉल के लिए मॉइस्चर तो चाहिए. मॉइस्चर ग्लोबल वार्मिंग में मिलेगा कब? स्नोफॉल कब होगा? मॉइस्चर चाहिए. तो मॉइस्चर, ये किलिमंजारो जो हम पढ़ते हैं, इट इज़ द ग्लेशिएटेड. आज कितना बचा है? 1912 के बाद जो किलिमंजारो, हम तो बहुत छोटा इसमें पड़ता है. किलिमंजारो इज द मोस्ट ग्लेशिएटेड माउंटेन ऑफ यूरोप, ऑफ अफ्रीका. but 1912 के बाद 94% of the glacier in the Kilimanjaro has melted and only 6% is remaining. There are numerous peaks which are at a greater height. उसमें height के कारण glacier है, but glacier does not mean river. Glacier तो छोटा भी हो सकता है. 75 kilometers का glacier, Siachen glacier, is feeding a very tiny river, Nubra. It is not enough to sustain the mighty river like Indus or Ganga. Getting this? Next. कौन सा? One and? Siltation generally does not mean flooding. Siltation has large scale economic impacts. Siltation will result into river crossing the channel even during the dry season. Brahmaputra. Frequent flooding. Siltation will result into closing down of the ports on the eastern coast. But हम इतना सारा इस आंसर में लिख नहीं सकते क्योंकि डिमांड नहीं है. Siltation will result into coming of deposits in the farms. मिट्टी अगर बहुत ज़्यादा क्लेई बन जाएगी because of silt, then the crops cannot grow. So ये बहुत ज़्यादा होता है due to siltation. Siltation will result into soil degradation. Siltation का एक ही aspect है flooding. Next point. From 2012 onwards, there is increase in the dry days. Next point, fourth point. There is increase in the dry days. Dry days. During both southwest monsoon and the winter season. During both southwest monsoon and winter season. During both southwest monsoon and winter season. In fact, the 2017-18 winter, 17-18 का winter, not 18-19 का winter. We are in the 18-19 का winter. Was the driest winter after 1901. After 1901. 1901. Driest winter after 1901. This shows there is greater loss of moisture. There is greater loss of moisture due to global warming. And thus decreasing snowfall in the Himalayas. As well as increasing heat waves and dust storms. Increasing heat waves and dust storms. Increasing heat waves and dust storms in the Great Plains of India. Dust storms in the Great Plains of India. कौन से साल में सबसे ज़्यादा dust storm थे? इसी साल में? Why? Because winters were not severe. As the winters were not severe, what happened? The ground was not sufficiently cooled. Winters में the ground remained warmer. Remember last year का winter and this winter. So last year के winter में December में sweater की ज़रूरत ही नहीं थी. But this year we are wearing the sweaters. इसलिए last year it was heavily polluted. इस साल भी pollution है, but pollution has been removed. So अभी भी अगर आपने phone में देखा तो दिल्ली की air is very unhealthy, but it is not toxic. Unhealthy है, but it is not toxic. थकान होती है अभी भी, but आँखें नहीं जलती. Understanding? So over the period of time, This shows, now last year what happened? Last year, because there was no cooling of the ground, so when the winters went away and the summers came, dust was not settled. Barish will consolidate the dust, it will take away the excess dust, and this dust which was not settled very properly, the ground became so hot कि ये धूल ऊपर उड़ गई, जिसको कहते हैं dust storms. Understanding this? इस साल thankfully we have heavy rainfall. क्यों? Because global warming कम हुआ है? No. This year is a La Nina year. La Nina year. This year is a La Nina year, and therefore we have good amount of moisture in the world. Next point. The submergence of coastal regions. The submergence of coastal regions. Especially Bangladesh, and the Sundarbans area of India, Why is Sundarbans famous? सबसे पहले Sundarbans means tiger or mangroves, world's largest mangroves, and then उसमें tigers. Is it a World Heritage Site, Sundarbans? Is it a Ramsar site? Exception है. It is not a Ramsar site. It is a World Heritage Site. The submergence of Sundarbans and Bangladesh is a testimony to rise in the sea level, due to the melting of glaciers. Due to the melting of glaciers. Due to the melting of glaciers, which is promoting large scale illegal migration from Bangladesh in eastern India, affecting resource utilization and demography. Use resource utilization, demography, not and demography. Demography and national security. बट उसका अपने आंसर से कोई संबंध नहीं पढ़ा था. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, नहीं, यू आर राइट इन दैट पॉइंट. नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, आई एम गिविंग यू ऑल द पॉइंट्स. सिम्टम्स क्या क्या है क्लाइमेट चेंज के. इंक्रीजिंग अमाउंट ऑफ ट्रॉपिकल साइक्लोन्स, in the Bay of Bengal, and incidences of tropical cyclone even during the winters. एग्जाम्पल कौन सा? is an indication of global warming, affecting is an indication of global warming affecting the Himalayan glaciers. Conclusion: there is an urgent need at international level of reducing global warming by adopting clean development mechanisms at national, subnational and local levels. एक common conclusion है, else the largest source of fresh water, fertile alluvial soils will disappear by 2100, having regional as well as international consequences. By 2100, having regional as well as national consequences. आज के पेपर में से हमने दो ही चीज उठाई है, एक थर्ड पोल वर्ड थर्ड पोल एंड दूसरा कि 2100 तक मोस्ट ऑफ द ग्लेशियर्स विल बी मेल्टिंग. सो दिस इज हाउ यू शुड यूज सम ऑफ द फैक्ट्स. बाकी आज के इसमें कुछ फैक्चुअल डेटा नहीं है, उसको रटते नहीं बैठना है, अंडरस्टैंड करना है एंड यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ यू आर गोइंग टू यूज दैट in writing an answer. Fine. So what is this third pole? What is third pole? Not only Himalayas. How many poles are there? Two poles, North Pole and South Pole. What? Arctic and Antarctic. क्या है वहाँ पे? Glacier. But are these the only glaciated regions of the world? No. There are glaciers even in Himalayas, Andes, Rockies, even in the tropics, in the high mountains. So ये mountainous glaciers को कहा जाता है third pole. So ये आ सकता है prelims में. Recently the third pole is in the news. What it is? So these are the glaciers in the high mountains of the world are known as third pole. Glaciated regions of the high mountains are known as third poles. Himalayas, Alps, Rockies, Andes, कोई भी tropic, subtropical region outside poles is third pole. Fine with this. So try writing the answer on your own. फिर से एक बार ये पढ़ के. अब last question. Mumbai, Delhi and Kolkata are the mega cities of the country, but the air pollution is much more serious problem in Delhi compared to the other two. Why is this so? क्या क्या लिखा है? So what will come in the geographical location? Landlocked. So what happens due to landlocked? सबसे पहले लैंडलॉक नहीं वर्ड आना चाहिए. वर्ड आना चाहिए दिस इज अ कॉन्टिनेंटल इफेक्ट. And because of the continental effect, this Delhi experiences winters. And because of the winters, air subsides, bringing down the pollution. Properly point wise jao. Second, geographical location. Because of the, so what we have in Delhi, extreme. And winters aata hai, which subsides the air, bringing down the pollutants that is present in the air. Second, due to geographical location, there is absence of land and sea breeze. Which removes the pollutants from the other cities. Baki ke isme you have to say that it will remove the pollutant. Third, because of the geographical location, there is a predominance of dry air having aerosols in suspension. इसलिए एयर पोल्यूशन इज वेरी, बॉम्बे एक्सेट्रा में एरोसॉल्स नहीं है एयर में. वाई? बिकॉज दे बिकम ह्यूमिड एंड दे सेटल डाउन. वहाँ पे वाटर पोल्यूशन ज़्यादा है, यहाँ पे एयर पोल्यूशन ज़्यादा है. विच इज़ मोर डेंजरस? एयर पोल्यूशन, बिकॉज वाटर यू कैन फिल्टर. एयर में हम आरओ नहीं लगा सकते या कुछ मशीन नहीं लगा सकते नाक पे. अभी जाना सुपरमार्केट में, ऑलरेडी ऑक्सीजन मिनी सिलेंडर्स आने लग गए इंडिया में. दैट इज़ 500 रुपीज़ में. मैंने अपोलो में देखा कल. तो एयर पोल्यूशन इतना ज़्यादा है, एक ऑक्सीजन सिलेंडर खरीद लो, जब बहुत थकान लगी तो ऑक्सीजन मुंह के अंदर एंड यू विल बी फिल. सो दिस इज व्हाट इज वी आर डूइंग टू आवर सिटीज. सेकंड, व्हाट इज द सेकंड? इट इज सराउंडेड बाय एग्रीकल्चरल रीजन्स. सो उससे क्या होगा? सराउंडेड बाय एग्रीकल्चरल, agricultural plains, and therefore two things happen here. One, there is already dominance of pollens in the air, crop pollens. And second, यहाँ पे there is a stubble burning. Not here, in entire Great Plains including Pakistan, which is brought by subtropical westerly jet. एक्सप्लेन करना पड़ेगा, 200 वर्ड में पूछा है. दिस इज योर पास्ट ईयर क्वेश्चन. डस्ट है ना, पोलन. पोलन विल कॉज पोल्यूशन, एरोसॉल्स. नहीं, क्योंकि अगर वो लिखोगे तो विंड आती है. विंड तो शुड रिमूव द पोल्यूशन. विंड इज देयर. यहाँ पे जोग्राफिकल लोकेशन में यहाँ पे आएगा, टेम्परेचर इन्वर्जन होता है यहाँ. एनी अदर पॉइंट? वो तो इंडस्ट्रियल बूम. इंडस्ट्रियल बूम यहाँ ज्यादा है या चेन्नई या मुंबई में ज्यादा है? वेहिकुलर पोल्यूशन दिल्ली है, क्यों मुंबई में नहीं है वेहिकुलर पोल्यूशन? तो व्हाट इज द यूनिक पॉइंट रिगार्डिंग दिल्ली? Delhi has twice the number of vehicles as compared to all the vehicles of other metros in India. जितनी चेन्नई में है, प्लस जितना कोलकाता में है, प्लस जितना मुंबई में है, प्लस जितना पूना में है, into 2 times is the DL registered vehicle. इसमें वी आर नॉट काउंटिंग HR रजिस्टर्ड, वी आर नॉट काउंटिंग RJ रजिस्टर्ड और UP रजिस्टर्ड जो आती जाती रहती है दिल्ली में. दिल्ली में 1.1 करोड़ व्हीकल्स है. ये पॉपुलेशन होता है बहुत सारी सिटीज का एंड कंट्रीज का. So this much number of vehicles are present and obviously vehicular pollution is very high because of नंबर ऑफ व्हीकल्स ऑफ मुंबई, इक्वेशन मत लिखना एग्जाम में, प्लस कोलकाता प्लस चेन्नई into 2 is the number of vehicles in Delhi. So you can write about the photochemical smog here. Understanding? Fourth, thermal power plant कहाँ है दिल्ली में? बदरपुर. क्योंकि ट्रांसपोर्ट नहीं है ना, अभी आई है मेट्रो पहले. सडन माइग्रेशन, दैट इज दिल्ली मुंबई का कैपेसिटी खत्म, चेन्नई का कैपेसिटी खत्म, डिक्लाइन ऑफ कोलकाता एज अ सिटी बिकॉज ऑफ लेफ्टिस्ट टेंडेंसीज, everyone started coming to Delhi. After 2004 Commonwealth Games, infrastructure got best in India. Because of this, large number of jobs were created. This is a plain region. यहाँ पे रोड कंस्ट्रक्शन, मेट्रो कंस्ट्रक्शन इज नॉट डिफिकल्ट एज कम्पेयर टू द अदर. बाकी ये तीनों सिटीज जो है, कोलकाता इज इन द डेल्टा, मुंबई इज बैकग्राउंड ऑफ वेस्टर्न घाट्स, चेन्नई द बैकग्राउंड ऑफ ईस्टर्न घाट्स. सो एज ए रिजल्ट ऑफ दिस वो सिटीज आइसोलेटेड है, बट दिल्ली का ये रीजन पूरा एक्सपांड होते गया. इन फ्यूचर एनसीआर विल बी राइट अप टू, अभी कहाँ तक है एनसीआर? सोनीपत, पानीपत. In future, the NCR region will go right up to Jaipur. मतलब high speed metro will connect you from Delhi to Jaipur. There will be people who will be migrating from Jaipur to Delhi on daily basis by high speed trains. That is the future of this region. ये बन जाएगा इंडिया का फर्स्ट मेगालोपोलिस, जो अभी तक इंडिया में नहीं है. शंघाई बीजिंग जैसे कनेक्ट हुआ है, वैसे ये हो जाएगा ओवर द पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. ऑलरेडी गवर्नमेंट को पता है दैट दिस रीजन विल हैव सो मच सस्टेन्ड ग्रोथ कि यहाँ पे देयर विल बी लार्ज स्केल माइग्रेशन. सो गवर्नमेंट हैज ऑलरेडी स्टार्टेड डेवलपिंग ग्वालियर, ऑलरेडी started developing अमृतसर, started developing Jaipur, and have started developing Raebareli in the north as counter magnets. कि rather than people coming to Delhi, they go and settle in Jaipur, they go and settle in Amritsar, they go and settle in the Gwalior region as counter magnets, because Delhi is going to experience the biggest urban growth, and it will be one of the biggest cities in the world in the recent next 20-30 years. So ऐसे नहीं होता दिल्ली बेकार या ये. चाइना हमसे भी ज़्यादा पोल्यूटेड था, बीजिंग. टुडे इट इज़ वन ऑफ द क्लीनेस्ट सिटी. लंदन की रिवर थेम्स वाज इवन बैड देन यमुना. सो इट इज़ ऑल बेस्ड ऑन द पीपल एटीट्यूड, लोगों के एटीट्यूड ऑफ हाउ दे वांट टू चेंज द सिटी. सो कोई सिटी बुरी या कोई सिटी अच्छी नहीं होती. इट इज़ बेस्ड ऑन द इंफ्रा, इट इज़ बेस्ड ऑन द एनवायरमेंट एंड बेस्ड ऑन द पीपल. रास्ते बहुत बड़े हैं फिर भी ट्रैफिक जैम, यू विल फाइंड यूनिक ओनली इन दिस सिटी. इतने ज़्यादा तो बॉम्बे में हाईवे भी नहीं है जितना बड़ा यहाँ पे लेन्स है. गो एंड सी द हाईवेज इन मुंबई, बट ट्रैफिक जैम कम क्योंकि रेड लाइट बहुत ज़्यादा है, बिकॉज लेन डिसिप्लिन. So all this are there, so you include this point here also. Fine, you include this point because ये point जनरली मिलेगा नहीं, और ये क्वेश्चंस ऐसे आते रहते हैं. ऐसे नहीं कि ये क्वेश्चन आ गया तो फिर से नहीं आएगा. ये क्वेश्चन हमेशा आता रहेगा, सिर्फ लैंग्वेज चेंज होगी इस क्वेश्चन. फाइन. What will be the conclusion of this? Solution can be, as urbanization is increasing in Asia and India, there is urgent need for sustainable development of the cities. Otherwise, cities will become non-livable in the future. ऐसा solution दो, sustainable development. हाँ, कोई भी solution हो सकता है. Yes, yes, you can. You can even write the conclusion that nowadays, from 2018 onwards, current affairs mein, 2018 onwards, Delhi, the same levels of pollution as if have increased in the coastal cities also, which shows that there is urgent need to develop integrated mass rapid transit system. You can take down integrated mass rapid transit system. Yes, integrated mass rapid transit system, which will include mass rapid transit system, which will include fast trains, ब्रैकेट में बुलेट ट्रेन्स भी लिख सकते हो, between two cities, dedicated cycling lane and walking lanes, and efficient city public transport. लिखा है efficient city public transport. That is, for example, USA, or for example, Japan, for example, China. People move from one place to another, the cities which are 300-400 kilometers apart in half an hour, in 1 hour. So उनको जाके वहाँ पे settle होने की ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ती. They can move on the daily basis. मेरे को रोहिणी से यहाँ आने के लिए 1 घंटा लगता है, जो 16 किलोमीटर है, और चाइना में 300 किलोमीटर कवर करने के लिए 1 घंटा लगता है. सो अंडरस्टैंडिंग दिस, सो दैट इज द फास्ट. इसीलिए तो हम हाइपरलूप और बुलेट ट्रेन ला रहे. यू मे क्रिटिसाइज द प्रेजेंट गवर्नमेंट. कहाँ पर ई रिक्शा तो है. उसके बाद why many people don't prefer metro? They come down and then they have to walk or drive for next 1.5 kilometer. So वहाँ पे there has to be a auto लेना पड़ता है. So there has to be last mile connectivity. उसमें क्या आ सकता है? मेट्रो से के बाद there can be pods, जो अभी बॉम्बे में डेवलप हो रहे हैं. Pods, monorail, metro between the larger regions and the smaller regions में monorail or pods. Rapid metro is still metro. What is point to? So don't argue here. You have to give solutions. It has to be pod. Third, electric vehicles. Fourth, सबसे important, cycling lanes, walking lanes. Not like this signal. So, fine with this?
Sir, the cycling lanes के मतलब यहाँ पे यहाँ से cycle पे आ सकते हो तो pods की ज़रूरत नहीं.
हाँ. So write this paper again. जिन्होंने लिखा है और जिन्होंने नहीं लिखा है, लिखो ये पेपर and submit it. At least because ये इतना open ended है कि इसमें से कोई भी क्वेश्चन रिपीट हो सकता है. मैम डिस्कस कर लीजिए. See, in the end, ये solution नहीं लिख सकते हम, but what is the biggest pollutant in India is population. But हम नहीं लिख सकते कि we required mass destruction of population. Yes. So what is the orographic rain? Orographic rain is the any rain that is caused due to the mountain barrier. Now what is this? What are the characteristics of an orographic rain? सबसे पहले, the most important characteristics is the mountain should lie perpendicular to the direction of the wind. Therefore हमने कहा mountain barrier, not just mountain, it is caused due to the mountain barrier. Why? Because if the mountain is lying perpendicular to the direction of the wind is forced to rise up. When it rises upwards, it cools adiabatically. It cools adiabatically, condenses and gives heavy rainfall on the side which faces the wind. And this side is known as windward side. This side is known as an windward side. While the other side, which is known as a leeward side of a mountain, on the other hand, experiences less rainfall or drought-like conditions or even deserts, depending upon the height of a mountain. Agar height of a mountain is more like Western Ghats, medium-sized mountains, then the leeward side will be drought-prone region of India. आ जाता है यहीं से prelims का question, why there is a narrow strip running parallel to the Western Ghats that is drought-prone? Answer is leeward side of the Western Ghats. So this effect of a mountain, कि leeward side में there is less rainfall, is what is known as an rain shadow effect of a mountain. When the height of a mountain is greater, एक तो winds cannot cross that, or even if the winds cross that, they are forced to come down from a greater height. When they are forced to come down from the greater height, there will be more heating like Chinook, and more heating, the more humidity capacity, and therefore there will be deserts. So such deserts of the world are located away. Not necessarily they are located only in the trade wind belt. They can be located anywhere, but they are located on the leeward side of the high mountains. Or generally ये deserts मिलते हैं in the regions between 35 to 65 degree north and 35 to 65 degrees south. And we call such deserts as the mid-latitude deserts. तो कौन सा है mid-latitude desert in India? Thar desert is a desert of which is located in the trade wind belt. Kalahari trade wind belt. Sahara trade wind belt on the western side of the continents. Atacama trade wind belt on the western side of the continents. But Leh Ladakh is a mid-latitude desert. Why? Southwest monsoon cannot cross the Himalayas. Taklamakan is a mid-latitude desert. The Gobi desert is a mid-latitude desert. Patagonia desert, cold desert, is a mid-latitude desert. So, ऐसे questions आते हैं, that is the mid-latitude deserts are located on the leeward side of the Western Ghats, or the mid-latitude regions are the regions of deserts. Consider the following statements: they are located in the trade wind belt on the western side. They are located on the leeward side of the mountain. हम deserts मतलब हमें लगता है पहला ही point हम वो mark करके आएंगे, और जब answer की आएगी तो हमें realize होगा. Key point is hot deserts, western side. Mid-latitude deserts, leeward side. They are known as mid-latitude में गर्मी होगी या सर्दी होगी? सर्दी होगी. Therefore, they are known as an cold deserts. ऐसा ही question एक test series में भी आया था आपके. Proper मतलब जो main test series है उसमें. Mid-latitude deserts are found where? That is, they will change the words and they will ask you some kind of an questions here. The third characteristics of pehla direction, second windward and the leeward belt. Third characteristics of the orographic rainfall is mountain kahan pe located hai, that also plays a very very important role. If the mountain is located near the coast, versus if the mountain is located in the inland. Coastal mountains, even if they are of a lower height, rainfall will be heavy. But inland mountains, to cause a rainfall, it has to be of a greater or even the higher height. Why? Because till the time, this is already with moisture, thoda bhi upar rise hua, it will give heavy rainfall. But till the time it reaches the interiors, most of its moisture is lost. So bottle mein pani already bahut kam hai. So when it is less, you will have to compress the bottle more. So similarly, wind has already lost uska moisture. Till the time it reaches Himalayas, it has to rise up more to give rainfall. So inner mountains such as Himalayas has to be of a greater height. So what kal prelims mein question aayega ki have Himalayas had been the same height as Western Ghats, kya hota India? India would have been a semi-desert or a desert. Kaisa desert hota? Cold desert or hot desert? Dono. During the summer season, we would have been hot desert. And during the winter season, Mongolia se, China se cold winds would have come and we would have become a cold desert. So India ka climate would have been same like Iran. Iran is both a cold desert and a hot desert. So India would have been both. It is because of the Himalayas, we are not a desert country, we are a monsoon country. And the last and the most important characteristics of orographic rainfall is, orographic rainfall does not require season. It can occur in any season. Convectional rainfall will occur only in the summer season, except at the equator. Equator में तो कभी भी हो सकती है. Orographic rainfall के लिए क्या ज़रूरी है? Onshore winds, not offshore. वो कभी भी हो सकता है. Onshore wind coming in the winters, it will give the rainfall. Onshore winds coming in the summers, it will give the rainfall. So it is not season dependent. So therefore, world में सबसे common rainfall or maximum rainfall is orographic rainfall. The maximum amount of rainfall in India is also orographic rainfall. Getting it? Cherrapunji Maswandaram, orographic. Northeast India, entirely orographic. Cherrapunji Maswandaram को cross करते ही Himalayas आते हैं. Again the wind is forced to go up. So orographic rainfall. Western Ghats, orographic rainfall. Dandakaranya Plateau, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, orographic rainfall. Getting this? So these are the key points regarding the orographic rainfall, and we will do some of the map based questions also regarding the, are you carrying the atlas? Don't open abhi. You can take down orographic rainfall. Sorry. Orographic rainfall. The rainfall that is caused due to the mountain barrier. The rainfall that is caused due to the mountain barrier. The rainfall that is caused due to the mountain barrier is orographic, is orographic. For orographic rainfall, following conditions are necessary. For orographic rainfall, following conditions are necessary. First, the mountain should be perpendicular to the wind direction. Mountain should be perpendicular to wind direction. Mountain should be perpendicular to the wind direction. Because the air should rise up, comma, cool adiabatically, and give rainfall. Example, Western Ghats. कौन सा side of Western Ghats? Western side or eastern side? Western side. On other hand, as Aravalis are parallel to the southwest monsoon, as Aravalis are parallel to the southwest monsoon. Parallel to the southwest monsoon. They do not act as a barrier. They do not act as a barrier. And therefore, western side of Rajasthan is desert. And therefore, western side of Rajasthan is desert. And therefore, western side of Rajasthan is desert. Getting this? So, India में desert क्यों है? Because consider the following statements regarding Thar desert. अगर कल question आता है. First, it lies in the trade wind belt. True or false? True. Southwest monsoon is what? Trade wind. Second, it lies in the subtropical high pressure belt where the air descends. So, it is not between 30 to 35. Thar desert, India, मैंने कहा India is exception in climate. हमारे यहाँ पे भी desert है, just like Sahara, Thar desert. But एक भी reason वो true नहीं है. The major deserts of the world, because they are lying in the subtropical high pressure belt where the air is forced to come down, and secondly they are washed by cold currents. यहाँ पे पाकिस्तान है, ocean नहीं है for cold currents to come. Secondly, we are not in the horse latitudes. Horse latitude हमारे ऊपर है. But still Rajasthan is a desert because of उसका direction of the Aravalis. Aravalis are parallel. So therefore, the black color southwest monsoon wind comes and it goes parallel to the Aravalis and directly reaches the Himalayas. इसलिए कौन सा? अरावलिस का माउंट आबू में सिर्फ माउंट आबू में, बाकी के जगह नहीं. अगर विंड भी आती है तो प्रेसिडेंट हाउस के इतना ज़्यादा हाइट पे है, अरावलिस पे ही. वी आर राइट नाउ ऑन द अरावलिस. दिस रिज रोड इज नथिंग बट अरावलिस. ये ओरोग्राफिक रेनफॉल कॉज करेगा? नो. कहाँ पे एयर ऊपर जा रही है? इट इज मोर लाइक अ स्पीड ब्रेकर फॉर द विंड. ऊपर से नीचे चली जाएगी. फाइन. इट इज नॉट लाइक. सो अंडरस्टैंडिंग व्हाई राजस्थान इज अ डेजर्ट, बिकॉज एक तो कॉमन है, इट इज इन द ट्रेड विंड बेल्ट. इंडिया पूरा ट्रेड विंड बेल्ट में है. एक्सेप्शन इज वेस्टर्न डिस्टर्बेंसेस. अदरवाइज इंडिया टोटली लाइज इन द ट्रेड विंड बेल्ट. वो तो वेस्टर्न डिस्टर्बेंसेस हमें जेट स्ट्रीम ले आती है हमारे पास. सेकेंडली, Aravali is a desert. This Thar desert is because it is on the other side. That is because of the direction of the Aravalis. Getting it? Second point. एक ही रीजन है. Aravalis are parallel to the monsoon. क्या? फिर पाकिस्तान, ये पंजाब चिल्लाएगा. पंजाब में तो हो रही है बारिश, पाकिस्तान चिल्लाएगा. सो पंजाब तो चिल्लाएगा. दिस विंड्स आर गोइंग एंड हिटिंग हियर. दिल्ली चिल्लाएगा, उत्तराखंड चिल्लाएगा. अगर यहाँ पे आपने वॉल बना दी तो इट इज़ नॉट चाइना. वी आर डेमोक्रेसी. चाइना अगर होता तो एक वॉल, अगर उनको लगता कि राजस्थान ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है और दिल्ली ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं, दे वुड हैव कंस्ट्रक्टेड अ वॉल एंड इट वुड हैव कॉस्ट द रेनफॉल. बट ऐसे नहीं हो सकता. वॉल बनाओगे तो इंडिया में करप्शन इतना है कि वॉल वो पूरा एक सिटी के ऊपर गिर जाएगी एक. सो नेक्स्ट पॉइंट. In the orographic rainfall, there is a maximum difference between the leeward and the windward side. Maximum difference of rainfall between the leeward and the windward side. Windward क्या होगा? ज़्यादा rain. Leeward less rain. The leeward side receives less rainfall. The leeward side receives less rainfall due to the rain shadow effect. due to the rain shadow effect of the mountain barrier, of the mountain barrier. Hence, इसका example 1, first example. The narrow strip running parallel to Western Ghat, the narrow strip running parallel to Western Ghat, on its leeward side, on its leeward side, on its leeward side, is drought prone, is drought prone because of the rain shadow effect of the, because of the rain shadow effect of the Western Ghat, because of the rain shadow effect of the Western Ghat. Example 2. Example 2. The rain shadow region, the rain shadow region, the rain shadow region of the rain shadow region of the tallest mountains in the world, of the tallest mountains in the world, of the tallest mountains in the world is desert, because of the inability of the winds to, because of the inability of the winds to cross these mountain barriers, because of the inability of the winds to cross these mountain barriers. The famous mid-latitude desert region are, the famous mid-latitude desert regions are, the famous mid-latitude desert regions are: one, Patagonia Desert, Patagonia Desert, Patagonia Desert, due to the rain shadow effect of the Andes, due to the rain shadow effect of the Andes, due to the rain shadow effect of the Andes, Patagonia Desert, due to the rain shadow effect of the Andes. मैं लिखाऊंगा नहीं, बट कंसेप्ट याद रखना, ये वेस्टर्ली विंड्स है यहाँ पे, एंड देयरफॉर दे कैन नॉट क्रॉस द एंडीज. सेकंड, Leh Ladakh Desert and the Tibetan Plateau, Leh Ladakh Desert and the Tibetan Plateau, Leh Ladakh Desert and the Tibetan Plateau, due to the rain shadow effect of Himalayas, due to the rain shadow effect of Himalayas. Third, Taklamakan Desert of China, Taklamakan Desert of China. I guess we have marked this also earlier. Taklamakan Desert of China. नहीं मार्क किया है? Taklamakan Desert of China and Gobi Desert of Mongolia, Gobi Desert of Mongolia. कौन सा? यहाँ पे कुनलुन शान, तैन शान, अल्तुन शान, पूरा ये ट्रांस हिमालयस का पार्ट, बहुत सारे माउंटेन्स है ये. So these are the mid-latitude deserts of the world. 1, 2, 3 and 4. This is Patagonia desert. So India में 3 desert region है, 2 desert region है, hot desert due to the Aravallis, rain shadow effect नहीं, parallel nature of the Aravallis, while cold desert is due to the rain shadow effect of the Himalayas, while this is a semi-arid drought prone region due to the rain shadow effect of the Western Ghats. Rain shadow effect of Western Ghats. This is drought prone due to the direction of Aravallis. अगर Aravallis पर parallel नहीं होती तो this would have been a rainy region. This is cold desert due to the rain shadow effect of Himalayas. मैप के लिए याद रखना, द 2 एग्जाम्पल्स विच आई एम गिविंग, यहां से मैप बेस्ड क्वेश्चन आते हैं. देयरफॉर मैप के लिए, देयरफॉर मुंबई पुणे, मुंबई पुणे, मुंबई पुणे एंड मैंगलोर बैंगलोर and Mangalore, Bangalore, 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 though are geographically nearby, have very high difference in rainfall, very high difference in rainfall, very high difference in rainfall. Q, Mumbai and Mangalore are in on windward side, Pune and Bangalore are in leeward side, Pune and Bangalore are in the leeward side. So Mumbai is at the foothills, Mangalore is at the foothills, Bangalore and Pune are on the leeward side. इसलिए मुंबई एंड मैंगलोर में 250 सेंटीमीटर्स ऑफ रेनफॉल, बैंगलोर एंड पुणे में 50 सेंटीमीटर्स ऑफ रेनफॉल. डिफरेंस ऑफ द रेनफॉल इज 200 सेंटीमीटर्स. किलोमीटर में डिफरेंस है उनका 180 किलोमीटर्स, बट रेनफॉल का डिफरेंस ज्यादा है. हम उसका अभी हम पहले लिख लेंगे, फिर लोकेशन देखेंगे. Next, that diagram is important, India वाला. जैसे बनता है क्लास में वैसे बनाने की आदत करो. ऐसे सोचोगे घर पे जाके मैं क्लीन बनाऊंगा, नहीं होगा. घर पे जाके यू विल नॉट ओपन द लैपटॉप. इवन इफ यू ओपन द लैपटॉप बहुत क्लीन बनेगा डायग्राम, बट वो रिप्रोड्यूस नहीं होगा इन द एग्जाम. वी आर मेकिंग समथिंग विच वी वांट टू रिप्रोड्यूस इन द एग्जाम. सो आंसर लिखते लिखते ऐसे हाथ घूमने की आदत पड़ जाएगी, इंडिया बन जाएगा. Don't worry about the world map that much. It is not going to make that much difference. ठीक है. Can I continue? Next. The location of a mountain is important. The coastal mountains of lower height can cause heavy rainfall of lower height can cause heavy rainfall, example Western Ghats. But the inland mountains such as Himalayas should be of greater height to cause rainfall. Rainfall always is greater near the foothills of the mountains and decreases away from the foothills. इसमें एग्जाम्पल, अंडरस्टैंडिंग दिस, फुटहिल्स के पास हमेशा रेनफॉल ज़्यादा होगा. इफ़ यू गो अवे फ्रॉम द फुटहिल्स के पास हमेशा रेनफॉल ज़्यादा होगा. एयर इज फोर्स टू राइज अप. इफ यू गो अवे फ्रॉम द फुटहिल्स, रेनफॉल विल डिक्रीज. देयरफॉर example, rainfall is greater in Dehradun as compared to Delhi. Rainfall is greater in Dehradun as compared to Delhi. And last characteristics. Orographic rainfall can occur in any season. Orographic rainfall can occur in any season. This is your past year question. थोड़ा मैं पास्ट ईयर क्वेश्चंस को मॉडिफाई करता हूं सो दैट now you know the answer is C. Understanding what they are checking. ऐसे क्वेश्चंस जब हम देखते हैं इन द एग्जाम, पास्ट ईयर क्वेश्चंस, ये मत सोचना कि हमें इंडिया के हर एक सिटी का रेनफॉल याद होना चाहिए. दे डोंट इवन एक्सपेक्ट यू टू नो कि दिल्ली एंड जयपुर में कितना डिफरेंस है रेनफॉल. यू शुड नो द कंसेप्ट. विंडवर्ड साइड, लीवर्ड साइड, all other these are in the plain region. So rainfall will be difference between Delhi and Jaipur. कितना 10 सेंटीमीटर्स का. Varanasi and Kolkata have a rainfall का difference, but that rainfall का difference Kolkata Is it in the mountain barrier? No. So it gets somewhere around 150, 190 centimeters. Varanasi gets 100 centimeters. Mumbai, Pune 200 centimeters का difference ही है. Allahabad, Patna same amount of rainfall है. So just always look at the geographical location. Fine. So with this, open the map. Map of India, the first page. Political map of India. First page in the political map of India. So page number 11. See, we worry about the questions which came this year कि Bangalore के same latitudes पे क्या है. Now, the students who had done geography earlier, ये राउस में QEP होता था, QIP, Quality Improvement Program. अब हम यहाँ पे Quality Enrichment Program कर रहे हैं. So this, in that Quality Improvement Program, we had done this question and luckily it came in the exam. That is, I had asked the students to do the map of the major cities. यही question करते करते, and I showed them the map of Bangalore and told them, see, surprisingly, you will see Bangalore, Bhopal and Delhi are in the same latitudes. UPSC ने question पूछा Delhi and Bangalore, उसने Bhopal cancel कर दिया. You can see Bangalore, Bhopal and Delhi are in the Shimla भी है ऊपर, are in the same latitudes. Sorry, longitude. तो नागपुर थोड़ा साइड में है. नागपुर हैदराबाद है. नागपुर and Hyderabad are in the same longitude. So can you see Bangalore का location? Can you see Mangalore का location? So important cities जो हमने देखना है, Mangalore, Western Ghats, देखा? Bangalore on the leeward side of the Western Ghats. Got this? So if you now, surprisingly, if you go to the north, Bangalore के बाद आता है भोपाल at the same latitude. ये अभी कर लो. Bangalore के बाद आता है भोपाल at the same latitude. And भोपाल के बाद आता है दिल्ली. Sorry, longitude, not latitudes, longitudes. Delhi के बाद आता है शिमला. So these are 4 at the same longitudes. Fine with this? No, Mangalore, not Mangalore. Bangalore, Delhi, Bhopal and Shimla. Fine? Ab you see, Bhopal is a city which is very near to the Tropic of Cancer. Yeah, it is a city which is on the Tropic of Cancer. Yes, near to the Tropic of Cancer. Remember this. Getting it? Now, the second surprising thing is, if you go from Delhi to the eastern part of India, you will see Gangtok and Delhi are at the same latitudes. Delhi के same latitude में we have Sikkim and we have Arunachal Pradesh. Arunachal Pradesh भी same latitudes पे. देखा? ईटानगर is also at the same latitudes. Question आता है UPSC का, identify a place in India, a state in India which is located at the same latitudes as Delhi, Jaipur, but has more than 80% of area under forest. हम सोचते हैं ऑप्शन रहता है अरुणाचल प्रदेश. हमारा दिमाग, क्योंकि वी आर नॉट फेमिलियर विद द मैप, हम सोचते हैं अरुणाचल प्रदेश तो ऊपर होगा, वी मार्क नागालैंड, क्योंकि एक ऑप्शन यूपीएससी नागालैंड भी देती है. अंडरस्टैंडिंग दिस? सो जैसे इस साल नागपुर मार्क करके आए बहुत लोग. सो दिस इज बिकॉज वी डोंट स्टडी दिस बेसिक मैप्स. गैंगटॉक मोर और लेस सेम, सिमिलर नहीं, सिमिलर लैटिट्यूड, सिमिलर इस पे है. एग्जैक्टली सेम पे तो बैंगलोर भी नहीं है, फिर थोड़ा बहुत नियर बाय है. यूपीएससी हमेशा पूछेगी नियर बाय. कोर्ट केसेस अवॉइड करने के लिए, क्योंकि 1 डिग्री का तो डिफरेंस होगा ही. Then come back to the Bangalore. Come back to Bangalore. You will be surprised to see that Bangalore is to the south and Chennai comparatively is to the north. चेन्नई थोड़ा नॉर्थ में है एंड बैंगलोर कंपैरेटिवली साउथ में है. अगर एटलस देखते समय कभी भी ऐसे कंफ्यूजन हुआ तो बेस्ट थिंग इज गो टू द इंडेक्स and look at the latitudes and longitudes of the cities. Everything is given in the atlas पीछे. The cities का latitudes and longitudes has been given here. Fine with this? Same नहीं है. Bangalore is to the south and Chennai is to the north. Fine with this? And come back to Chennai again. You will be surprised to see Chennai and Allahabad are at the same longitudes. UPSC पूछेगा which city lies at the same longitude as Chennai. एक देगा कोलकाता, एक देगा इलाहाबाद. आप सोचोगे कोलकाता, दोनों ईस्ट में है. इलाहाबाद और लखनऊ. Sorry, not Allahabad, Lucknow. I'm sorry. Allahabad is near Raipur. दिल्ली एंड लखनऊ. देखो कैसे लगता है, लखनऊ तो सेंट्रल इंडिया, चेन्नई इज ईस्ट कोस्ट, हो ही नहीं सकता साथ में. सो दिस आर सम ऑफ द इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट्स. ऐसे हम जब इंडियन ज्योग्राफी करेंगे तो, बट कीप ऑन रिवाइजिंग दिस, नहीं तो याद नहीं रहता. एक हफ्ता और, एक हफ्ता और. What? वो हम इंडियन ज्योग्राफी में करेंगे. फाइन. जैसे और एक है, बिकॉज इफ यू आर हैविंग द मैप एक्स्ट्रा ओपन, एक और पॉइंट मैं बता देता हूं इंपॉर्टेंट, विच इज द ईस्टर्न मोस्ट स्टेट ऑफ इंडिया. ईस्टर्न मोस्ट स्टेट ऑफ इंडिया, अरुणाचल. आई गेस वी हैव डन दिस ऑलरेडी. ईस्टर्न मोस्ट एंड द वेस्टर्न मोस्ट स्टेट. वेस्टर्न मोस्ट स्टेट ऑफ इंडिया इज गुजरात. वेस्टर्न मोस्ट कैपिटल ऑफ इंडिया, स्टेट का कैपिटल, गांधीनगर और मुंबई. किया है हमने ये, मुंबई. और एंड द ईस्टर्न मोस्ट कैपिटल ऑफ इंडिया, कोहिमा. नॉट अरुणाचल का कैपिटल, कोहिमा, नागालैंड का कैपिटल. So when we say the cyclonic rainfall, we say the cyclonic rainfall is of two types. One which occurs in the temperate cyclones and one which occurs in the tropical cyclones. When we say temperate cyclones ka rainfall, it is further of two types. Which occurs along the warm front, it is gentle. Which occurs along the cold front, it is heavy. अभी से इतना याद रखना, कल तक ये पूरा क्लियर हो जाएगा, because for understanding fronts, for understanding cyclones, we should first know fronts. For understanding fronts, we should first know air masses. Air masses is the next topic, once we finish this. And tropical cyclone ka precipitation, you already know. How is the tropical cyclone ka precipitation? It is a natural disaster. कभी सुना है यूके में people died because of cyclone? यूरोप में नहीं, but it is very common in India. It is very common even in USA, even in Japan, even in China. Tropical cyclones, they are natural disasters. One of the most powerful of all the natural disasters. Fine with this? Can I rub this? So this is the last topic of climate: air masses, fronts, cyclones, cyclone disaster management in India, and anticyclones. Fine? But this is very, very important topic both for prelims and mains. We have question last year on air masses. We always have a question on cyclones. अगर पेपर 1 में नहीं तो पेपर 3 में cyclone disaster management in India. This year we had a question on thunderstorms, which is a kind of an cyclonic circulation. We had a question on heat waves. So this is the part जिससे हर साल एक question तो आता ही है. So what is an air mass? Any idea what is an air mass? Form of air, column of air. See, air mass technically is huge body of air, three-dimensional, huge body of air. Vertical भी है, horizontal भी है, covering a large area. But ये सबसे important है, having uniform properties or same properties, uniform properties across its का horizontal expansion. Means horizontally the properties are uniform. Ab horizontally how the properties can be uniform? What are the properties of air? Either it is cold air or warm air. Because temperature will determine pressure. Pressure will determine uska humidity. Temperature and pressure will determine uska humidity. So we say air mass is a huge body of air or a large body of air which has uniform properties across its horizontal length and more or less uniform across its vertical column. But what is more importantly is the horizontal. So with this, have you understood everyone the concept of air mass? With this I am asking you, why do we study air masses? To understand fronts. Why do we study fronts? To understand cyclones. Land and water body. Parcel of air, second parcel, third parcel, fourth parcel, and for example fifth parcel. So is one satisfying our definition? Huge body of air having horizontal properties across its, or having the same properties across its horizontal expansion. Horizontally property same hai ki nahi? Yes. Is second an air mass? खुद सोचो, is second an air mass? Horizontally, will the second body of air have same property? No. Some of it will be humid, some of it will be dry. So second is not an air mass. Third, yes, totally on the land. Fourth, no. Some part on the land, some part on the water body. And fifth, yes. That means there are only few places in the world where the air masses can originate. This can be wide areas of the oceans or very, very wide areas of the continents. Continents may be specifically, this is not an air mass then. Because if the continent is not flat, then the air will have different properties at different height. So this is not. That means air masses can originate in the continents jahan pe we have very, very flat, wide land, Canada and USA. Understanding? Siberia, Russia wala region. Sahara Desert. Getting it? And some parts jahan pe land is very wide is equator. Brazil wala ye region. If you remember the South America ka map. This is area which is very, very wide. But air masses cannot originate at the equator, because at the equator air is not constant. Air masses ke liye air has to be constant. If this air is at the equator, what will happen? This air will rise up, and therefore air masses cannot originate at the equator. The best area of the origin of the air masses is where the air is constant, that is the subtropical high pressure belt or the equatorial high pressure belt, jahan pe the air is coming down. So based on this, we have 16 types of air masses, 16 types of air masses. Yahan tak GS hai, and each and every air mass in detail is optional. So hum sirf classify karenge how many types of air masses are there. Why air masses are important? Example, if this is where you are staying, if this one air mass comes to your region, will it give rainfall? Yes, because it has taken moisture. So air masses are important because they influence the climate of the area. Ab kya hai air mass? Nothing but wind, but which has become stationary over an area for a sufficiently large amount of time ki us area ki property le leti hai. So that is what is an air mass. For example, if the air is moving with great speed over Delhi, so versus there is one air which becomes stagnant for 3 or 4 days over Delhi. So what will be the air mass? Air mass will be the second, because it remains stagnant, and jo Delhi ka temperature hai wo air ka temperature ban jata hai. So air mass, for air mass to continue to mature, it has to remain stagnant over a place for sufficiently long period of time. Generally 3 दिन लगते हैं air को to take the temperature of that area. Air masses are important because when cold air mass and warm air mass converge, they result into formation of fronts, and fronts will result into formation of cyclones. Understanding this? So air masses is bit technical. In fact, to tell you very frankly, I was surprised जब पिछले साल GS में air masses पे question पूछा, because air masses is core optional. That is, for example, plate tectonics पे पूछा, कोई भी कितना भी difficult question we can understand. But geosyncline theory कभी नहीं पूछेंगे of Himalayas in GS. So वैसे ही jet stream पे आने दो जितना भी difficult, cyclones पे आने दो जितना भी difficult, but they generally do not cross the boundary. The एक imaginary boundary जो होता है कि ये optional का है, ये GS का है, experience के साथ जो. So air masses was on the optional side. Mantle plume was on the optional side. इसलिए मैंने आपको convectional current ऊपर ऊपर से बताया, but आपको detail में नहीं बताया, because never thought कि mantle plume जैसा difficult topic will come in GS. एयर मासेस जैसा डिफिकल्ट टॉपिक विल कम इन जीएस. But still, if you look in NCERT, air masses are there, so you should know. NCERT में कोपन भी है, थॉर्नवाइट भी है. That I am guaranteeing कि कभी नहीं आएगा in GS, because कोपन and थॉर्नवाइट classification are those जो ऑप्शनल वाले भी भगवान भरोसे छोड़ के जाते हैं. That is, they don't understand this classification कि अगर आएगा तो they will not attempt that question. So obviously GS में कभी नहीं आएगा. और अगर आता भी है तो फिर वो सबके लिए ही गुप्ता न्यूमेस्टैटिक्स आर्ट्स जैसा क्वेश्चन बन जाएगा, विच नोबडी विल अंडरस्टैंड. सो वैसे दैट आंसर इज गिवन इन 9th NCERT ऑफ हिस्ट्री. एक लाइन. क्लास वाले क्लेम करेंगे सब कुछ NCERT से आता है. एक लाइन और 200 वर्ड्स इज डिफरेंट. सो यू कैन टेक डाउन एयर मासेस. अ ह्यूज बॉडी ऑफ एयर, a huge body of air having uniform properties, in the terms of temperature, pressure, and humidity. Horizontally, temperature, pressure and humidity horizontally, and to some extent even vertically, but what is more important? Horizontally, is known as an air mass. For air masses to originate, following conditions are necessary. 1, there should be homogeneous area of either land or sea. There should be an homogeneous area of either land or sea. There should be homogeneous area of either land or sea. Second, the atmospheric conditions should be stable. So that the air takes up property, of the area where it develops, air takes up the properties of the area where it develops. Next point. Hence, the air masses will never develop. Air masses will never develop in the regions of equatorial low pressure belt in the regions of equatorial low pressure belt because the air is instable, because the air is instable in the regions of equatorial low pressure belt, because the air is instable. The air mass, next point, the air mass after originating, the air mass after originating takes up the properties of the region where it takes up the properties of the region next point, for air mass to take up the property, for air mass to take up the property, it should remain over the region for minimum 3 to 4 days. It should remain over region for minimum 3 to 4 days. Minimum over region for 3 to 4 days. ये एग्जाम में मत लिखना, दिस इज फॉर यू टू अंडरस्टैंड. ये जो रीजन वाला 3 से 4 दिन वाला. नेक्स्ट, thus there are very few regions in the world where the air masses develop these regions are known as the source regions. These regions are known as the source regions. These regions are known as the source regions. And the important source regions are, देखो वैसे 6 है, हमें सारे करने की ज़रूरत नहीं. Important source regions are cold continental areas of Canada and Russia. Cold continental areas of Canada and Russia. Areas of Canada and Russia. Second, cold maritime regions. Cold maritime regions in the Pacific and Atlantic Ocean. In the Pacific and Atlantic Ocean. In the Pacific and Atlantic Ocean. Next, vast tropical and subtropical interiors. Vast subtropical and tropical interiors. Vast tropical and subtropical interiors of Arabian and Sahara Desert, of the Arabian and Sahara Desert, of the Arabian and Sahara Desert. And the tropical regions of Atlantic, Pacific and Indian Ocean. Atlantic, Pacific and Indian Ocean. Pacific and Indian Ocean. And Indian Ocean. तीनों को मैंने एक ही नंबर दिया है, 6 That is Indian Ocean, Atlantic and Pacific Ocean. Vast region. You see, this is vast. यहाँ पे air mass technically develop होना चाहिए, but it will not develop because it is in the equator. So कहाँ पे है? Canada, Atlantic, Russian, Siberian region. ये Central Asia पूरा आएगा इसमें. The Indian Ocean, Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Pacific Ocean, but higher latitudes में. ये cold है, ये warm. Cold, warm, warm. Tropics में warm, warm. Fine. So these are the source regions of the air masses. Next, on the basis of temperature, the air masses are divided into one, cold air masses, write in the bracket small k, cold air masses. Cold air masses. कौन सा होगा cold air mass? ये सारे cold air masses, but definition देखो क्या है cold air masses का. Cold air mass मतलब whose temperature is lesser than the area it visits. That is a cold air mass. So अगर इसका temperature during the winters because of extreme snowfall, यहाँ का region is -40. But यहाँ पे winters में the region can be 5 degrees Celsius. Actually both cold है, but who will be called as a cold air mass? If second goes in the area of 4, cold air mass. But if 4 comes in the area of second, then it is an warm air mass. Getting it? अब जब second goes into the area of 4, is this air dry air or moist air? Dry. So ये rainfall देगा? No. So this will call as stable air mass. But third, if it is coming due to jet streams, understanding jet streams, इसके ऊपर jet stream है. So they are always going to the west, from west to east. ऐसे नहीं आएगा, ये हमेशा ऐसे जाएगा, because इसके ऊपर which jet stream is there? Polar jet stream is there, 60 to 65 degree latitudes. So if 3 goes in the area interior, वो बारिश देगा. So you will call this as unstable air mass. Getting it? So cold air mass whose temperature is lesser than the area it visits. Whose temperature is lesser. Cold air mass means whose temperature is lesser than the area it visits. Is lesser than the area it visits. Warm air mass, symbol is small m. Small m. So small w, not small m. Small w. Whose temperature is greater than the area it visits. Air mass whose temperature is greater than the area it visits. Area it visits. Example, southwest monsoon is an example of warm air mass. क्या है exactly southwest monsoon? और 5 मतलब once we finish this air mass, whose temperature? ये है southwest monsoon, which is in the southern hemisphere, takes up moisture, becomes hot, and over the period of time cross the equator, and due to Coriolis force ये पूरे इस area में आएगा as southwest monsoon winds. पहले ये पूरी ये हवा यहाँ पे जाएगी, पर तब तक इक्वेटर आ जाएगा। अगर अफ्रीका थोड़ा भी नीचे होता तो ये एयर सीधा निकल जाती, बट यहाँ पे इक्वेटर है, वंस इट क्रॉसेस द इक्वेटर it will get deflected to the right. No, it is greater. Latent heat of condensation. It is having latent heat inside, moist heat. It is not lesser. आते आते वो गर्म हो जाता है, समर से यहाँ से शुरू हो गया, बहुत ज़्यादा गर्म हो जाता है बिकॉज ऑफ लेटेंट हीट. नेक्स्ट, on the basis of origin, the air masses can be, small c, continental air mass, small c, continental air mass, small c से डिनोट करना है. कॉन्टिनेंटल एयर मास कैन बी 1, कॉन्टिनेंटल एयर मास लिखना स्मॉल c उसके अंदर. कॉन्टिनेंटल एयर मास स्मॉल c. क्या होगा कॉन्टिनेंटल एयर मास? वन विच ओरिजिनेट्स ऑन द लैंड. कॉन्टिनेंटल एयर मास वन विच ओरिजिनेट्स ऑन द लैंड. One which originates on the land. And second, maritime air mass, small m, one which originates on water bodies. वाटर बॉडीज मतलब ज्योग्राफी में लेक या नदी नहीं, ओशंस. ओके, सो व्हाट इज 7? मैरीटाइम, 1 कॉन्टिनेंटल. फाइन. सो एक स्टेटमेंट, कोरियोलिस फोर्स इक्वेटर क्रॉस करके क्या है कोरियोलिस? In all, there are 16 types of air masses. In all, there are 16 types of air masses. In all, there are 16 types of air masses. जो हम कल करेंगे, ठीक है?